We are on the hunt to make sure that this firearm deer season is not only fun, but safe, which is why Mark from the Department of Natural Resources joins us now. Welcome into Studio 10.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we are super excited to have you here because firearm deer season starts this Wednesday, and we know hunters have been prepping since, I feel like, the end of last season. I know my dad has. He has land up in Tawas, but we want to make sure it's a safe season. So what are some of those common mistakes or common violations that you personally see each year?
First and foremost, we deal a lot with people that have neighbor relations issues, where they're fighting over the same deer, there's property line issues, things like that. That's probably the most prominent. And then we jump into other things such as tagging, some safety issues regarding firearms, and knowing your firearms, knowing what's in front of your target, behind your target, that sort of thing.
Let's start with tagging. You brought some antlers, so what are some of the things that we should keep in mind in terms of tagging our deer?
Definitely. So first off, you need to have your tags on your person, purchased before you even go hunting. Right now there is you can buy it in store, or you can buy it online. Right now, as you're so close to rifle season, you will not get your tags in time to go hunting on opening day. From there, you know, this is an example of a large 8-point deer.
Yeah, a nice one.
Yeah. So what we want to do, and one thing I suggest, is to use zip tie. What you'll do is take the zip tie, wrap it around so you have the tail end sticking out of the deer. From there, I'm going to take my license. This is just a blank one from previous years, and this has the sticker backing. From there, you're going to notch and validate all the information that's on your tag. So the sex of the animal, whether it's a male or a female, the antlers, how many points are on each side, and then the date that you harvested the animal. So you need to make sure that all of those items on the tag are notched correctly, and then you're going to attach it to the animal. So with this, it's going to be a sticker backing, and it peels off nice and easy.
Awesome. So take that, yeah.
Cool. So from there, then I'm going to take that tail end of the zip tie, and I'm going to lace it right down the middle of the tag, and then fold it as best we can. Yeah. Equal on either side.
Nice.
And the reason for this is if you were to get checked by a conservation officer, we need to see whose license it is and a lot of the information to make sure it's validated correctly. From there, the processor or the butcher shop that you take it to needs a lot of this information for their intake forms that are required from the Department of Natural Resources as well. And then if you do, you know, give it a big buck and you want to take it to a taxidermist, they're going to get a lot of that information as well. So off that tag. So it needs to be legible. What you don't want to do is wrap it around the antler so all the information's crinkled up and everything. I also like to do this because you can clip it off, and at the end of the day, you remember, hey, this is when I shot this deer. I shot it in 2023 on November 15th on opening day.
Yeah, good tip. Now, I know you mentioned a little bit about knowing, you know, your firearm, knowing your target. What are some ways that we can do that?
So with your firearm, you need to make sure that you can't trust what happened last year, that it's going to still be shooting straight. So we can go to the rifle range and make sure you sight in your rifle, and do that before you go out hunting, obviously, and just make sure that you're shooting straight and shooting accurate like you want to. From there, you need to make sure you always know what's in front of your target and behind your target. So with the safety zone violation, you need to be at least 450 feet or 150 yards away from an occupied dwelling, building, outhouse, or any type of building that's affiliated with like a farming operation. That goes back to what I say, you know, you always have to know your neighbors before you go out in the woods.
And have that respected too.
Absolutely.
As well. And I know a lot of people too also hunt on the public lands as well, and we want to make sure too that, you know, you leave the land better than it was before when you got there. Any tips for when you hunt on public land?
Yep. So a couple of things. Obviously, whatever you bring in, you got to take out with you. So all the propane bottles, the cookie wrappers, the snacks, everything like that, take all your trash with you. Number two, if you do have a stand set up or a tree stand or a blind on public property or state land, you have to have some type of identifying information on there.
Yeah, no, and that makes sense. And of course, hunters should be wearing that orange as they go into opening day. And then another thing I wanted to bring up was the bait regulations. What do they need to know about in terms of bait? So
bait, it is illegal to bait in the lower peninsula of Michigan. If you're hunting in the upper peninsula, you're allowed to have up to 2 gallons of bait spread out over a 10-foot by 10-foot area or its equivalent. And then for the hunter's orange, you have to have at least a minimum, and we shouldn't even be talking about minimums, but the minimum amount is a hat, a vest, a jacket, or like a raincoat. If a deer sees your hunter's orange, which they will not, it's more about making sure that other hunters see that you're walking through the woods, and we don't want any accidents.
Well, this is so many good tips, and this will be great. So I guess we just wish you the best of luck if you guys do go hunting. Make sure it's safe, but thank you so much for stopping by.
Yeah, thank you.